Bosniancheese, Yxlarb Bosniancheese, Yxlarb Bosniancheese podcast, Yxlarb Bosniancheese, Yxlarb Bosniancheese, Yxlarb Bosniancheese. What is up, guys? It is Bosniancheese, and I'm here with
Yxlarb.
and we are in the flesh for the first time on this channel.
Actually, no. I can't remember what episode it was. I think it was Dying Light episode 17. Your face was shown because I don't know if you remember this, but actually at the time we had lost the footage for that episode, and the whole episode was just you getting from one place to the other. And I remember you being like, "Oh crap, I don't have the episode," and you couldn't go back in time because we had recorded like another 8 episodes after that. So you were like, "Oh, this will be funny. We'll just label it as episode 17 and just record you saying, 'Hey, we fucked up.'" Actually, Yxlarb fucked up because I lost the footage, I think. I haven't watched it in years, but
we gotta go back and see that. That's
no,
hilarious.
yeah, but actually, they haven't seen me personally on the flesh on this channel.
Wow.
Although I have shown my face on other channels, other gaming related channels. I don't actually know if it still exists, but it was called the Anortha Show, hosted by one of my old high school friends in real life, and it was just a very casual setup, kind of like this, where he just brought YouTubers on and was like, "Oh, hey, what are you doing? What have you got going on your channel? Tell us about you." And then there would be a second section, so the first thing would be like an interview kind of. The second section would be a gaming session. So we'd play a game against each other. And it was a really cool setup, and I think that's part of what intrigued me about this idea. This is like one of the things that I've always had in the back of my head, like, I'd love to do this again. But
That's awesome.
that's a very long-winded way of saying it's the first time you're seeing me on this channel, second time you're seeing Bosniancheese.
For a lot of you, though, maybe it is the first time. So I guess we'll explain what we're doing right now. It's in title probably, but this is a podcast or something like that. God, I have so many ideas for this intro. Can you remind me of any of them?
Yeah, no, let's see. So basically, for those who, I actually don't know when this is coming out, but assuming that the Nerf bonus videos have come out at this point for Nerf N-Strike Elite, you might have heard us talking about the idea of a podcast. It was like a miracle. Like, I think Bosniancheese said something along the lines of, "Hey, this kind of seems like a podcast." And then I was like, "Oh, hey, I just thought we could do a podcast like 30 seconds ago." And then he was like, "Oh, a few minutes before that, I was thinking we could do a podcast." And then we were like, "Great, let's actually do it." And Bosniancheese kind of had this idea that at the end of each major series, so each solo or collaborative series that we do, so Minecraft would be another one, I suppose, down the road, we would just take, however long, an hour at least, to just sit down and talk not just about the project itself, that could kind of be a starting point, just into not necessarily even a deep conversation. I mean, it doesn't matter which way it goes from here. We can talk about anything we want, unrelated to the channel, unrelated to gaming, even unrelated to us. It could be national topics.
Just ideas. Even that other thing we were talking about in the bonus video with the whole Asian thing.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
No, that was actually in Minecraft. That's why I was... Actually, it might have been in both.
Maybe. That was bothering me for a while. We might get to it. But really the most important thing is that this is a free-flowing thing, a free-flowing conversation, and that's what we do on this channel. And so we thought that this would be a good place to do it, because if you like watching our videos, you like the free flow of ideas and conversations that we have, but now it's not going to be attached to just gaming. I mean, of course, we're going to keep doing that. This is our gaming channel, but this is something we love, just free-flowing ideas and conversation. It's one of my favorite things.
Honestly, we try to exercise that all the time. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
but,
no.
I mean, that's what we do in our videos. You'll find me often in my solo series, especially, I end up ranting about something. It might be related to the game or not, but I find myself consciously telling myself to stop and move on. So I'll be on like the conclusion screen for 3 minutes. I'm like, oh, no one wants to listen to a 3-minute conclusion. Wrap it up. And so in a way, although I love commentating over gameplay, it restricts the true conversation, which is completely uninhibited in this environment.
And
so I think that's what will be really successful about this.
And a conversation with yourself is entirely different than a conversation with someone else.
Hugely.
I don't know what it is, but I feel like creativity is boosted like tenfold when it comes to that kind of conversation. Because when you're talking to yourself, it's a lot of things like, what do I need to do today? What's going on right now? Oh, I shouldn't be lazy. Oh, I shouldn't blah blah blah. And it's so many things related to yourself, and it's almost like an ego trip. I mean, it is your ego, right? But when you're talking to someone else, you don't want to talk about all those things that go through your mind. I mean, obviously you want to talk about things that go through your mind, but not those kind of things. Like, well, what am I was thinking, what am I wearing today? But I'll definitely talk to you about what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about this shirt.
No, we did, yeah.
So, is that the intro?
That is the intro.
That's the intro. I feel like there was a lot more I wanted to say, but we'll get there.
We'll get to it at some point.
Oh, one thing I do want to say is this camera only records for 30 minutes at a time. And so we have a timer going on right now, and when that hits down, we're just going to go stop the camera or finish up our conversation. We left ourselves a couple minutes buffer, but we're going to stop the camera, turn it back on, come back, just have a little cut, and be right back at it. So,
and just to sort of explain that.
You can explain why. Yes. Yeah, it's
so
ridiculous.
I did very minimal research because what I thought initially, so it's a Sony Alpha 3000. And I know, I've been using it for years. And I've always known it's had this limit of around 30 minutes. It's like 28 to 30 minutes. And I found out the hard way, of course. You'll be recording for a long time, just leave it going. And then look and be like, hey, it totally stopped recording. And then you'll realize the video length is exactly 30 minutes. So then I realized, oh, I must automatically stop at a certain point. And of course, after a couple more unfortunate incidents, I figured that was the case. So just to research it, I figured there was some sort of setting on the camera that, just had it set to that so you wouldn't use up all your space on your SD card. I mean, like if you had like an 8 gigabyte card, I don't know how much video that would be, like an hour and a half maybe. So I thought that was all it was. But then I looked into it just very briefly, and it looks as though the reason why Sony and other major camera producers limit the hardware to this capability is simply to avoid, I guess, the commerce classification of them being video cameras, because they don't want a DSLR to be labeled that. But I'm not exactly sure what the reason is. I imagine it has to do with tax implications or the transporting of commerce, aka the cameras. Perhaps it'd be more expensive. There'd be like, a higher insurance cost for transporting. I don't know exactly what the reasoning is. But basically, it's stupid. That's what we determined from our brief research.
You know that it's something that saves them money.
That's it.
That's all you know.
Yes.
It might be related to tax, might be related to insurance, but it's saving that company money, and it's causing a problem for their consumers, which is really what capitalism is all about.
That's what it's all about.
It's how much can we fuck over consumers to the point where they'll still buy our shit.
Yes.
Because, I mean, that's what Walmart does. That's what Apple does.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
I mean, every company that's trying to make a buck, I think only the ones that don't do that are smaller ones, mom and pop shops. But once you got stockholders involved and everything, then that's it.
I mean, they're set up. I mean, like, actually, for those who don't know, I'm in law school, and one of the required courses is, like, something along the lines of business associations. You talk about LLCs and corporations and whatnot. And I mean, you find that the law is very straightforward. Just to put it very generally in regard to corporations that have, shareholders and whatnot, it's even as a lawyer, for the company, you don't represent the executive board, you don't represent the shareholders, you represent the best interest of the company itself, which is, of course, the bottom line. So you do whatever it takes to satisfy that end. It's not about anything else for the most part. Obviously, there's extreme cases, but they're set up to do just that. So you'd have to restructure the entire system to change that. Obviously, the entire legal system around corporations would have to change.
Yeah,
because that's just how it is. I mean, there's literal lawsuits over companies trying to do something else, and then shareholders can bring the lawsuit and be like, oh no, they're not making as much money as they can. It's like, oh well. You have to do it. It's
ridiculous.
It's a problem. But actually, just as a side note, in case you haven't been able to tell so far, there's no structure to this. We don't have a script. We don't have anything around us telling us what to talk about next or when to move on. We were just figuring we'll find something to talk about after discussing the first main deal, which is the series that just got completed. So
and we haven't even gotten into
that, which is fine because we'll get there.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so we're here. So for those who haven't seen it or aren't paying attention at all to their feed, I just completed my solo project, Nerf N-Strike Elite, for the Nintendo Wii. Very short Let's Play, very short. It was eight episodes, right?
Hilarious.
It was 8 episodes for the main story. I think I haven't finished editing at this point, but I believe there will be 3 bonus episodes. So it's probably the shortest solo series on the channel, aside from any little side series I've done or whatever. But in terms of our primary series, it's probably one of the shortest. And basically, yeah, we're gonna talk about that a little bit. Obviously, 8 videos. There's so little you can go over in 8 videos. That's approximately 2 hours of time. A lot of that being devoted to talking about what's going on in the game.
Yeah.
Especially in a game like that, because it's an on-rails shooter. So whether you're ready or not, the game's going to be moving on. And there's going to be cutscenes happening, but you can't control when they're happening.
I mean, the game's all about throwing as much things at you as it can because, you're on the rails. And so if you have no control, they need to constantly entertain you.
That's a good point. I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah, they constantly need to be bringing you entertainment at that point.
Yeah, I mean, you realize there's a couple of instances in the game, like at the very beginning of the last mission, as you saw, which you actually played with me in the bonus episode.
Yeah.
Like for 30 seconds. Like they weren't even talking or doing anything. We just were walking along the bridge and then stopping. You're thinking are we even going to be fighting, or are we just waiting for a cutscene to load up? Is this section just here to load up more of the map?
Yeah.
So, why is this here? So that's actually a good point. I didn't really think about that, I guess.
Yeah,
specifically.
Because in games like Skyrim and The Witcher, they don't feel the need to constantly entertain you. I feel like they know you're going to be entertained by having this open world where there's things towards the end of your journey, and so you have a goal that you're moving towards, and then there's things along the way that you encounter, like little wolf packs or whatever on your way to a village, but you always feel like you have somewhere to go and something to do, and so having that goal ahead of you, that's nice. But when you're on the rails, then they need to throw things at you constantly.
They do, especially because of that lack of choice. I mean, they want you to not even think about the fact that you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
It's throw so much at you that you can't even stop to think about, hey, this game would be much better if it wasn't on rails. They don't want you thinking that. But, I mean, I don't even know exactly what I want to say. We'll just dive into all the things that are going through my head about the game.
One thing I want to say is Hasbro, that's the company that made the game, right?
That's the company that makes Nerf. I don't know if they actually made the game. Obviously, they had a huge part in it. I mean, providing designs and whatnot. But I don't actually know who made the game. Oh, perfect. This is exactly why we have the Mac.
We brought this for fact checking because we do talk out of our ass. I'm not going to say we don't, but we try not to. We try not to talk about things we don't know. So,
and it's Nerf N-Strike Elite. You might want to type in Nintendo Wii because otherwise it's just going to pop up a bunch of Nerf guns because the second Nerf gun series is titled the same. So you're just going to see a bunch of guns.
Nintendo. I intend to. Let's see. So, 92% like this video game of Google users.
Okay.
Whoa, so it's EA. The developer was EA. Salt Lake.
Yes.
Publisher, EA.
Yes. That actually makes sense.
That makes sense.
Now that we think about that. Anything for a fast buck.
Yeah.
EA.
Yep. I mean, the budget had to have been small.
Oh my god.
Small.
No.
I'm looking it up.
Do it. If you can even find that information, like I said, probably 3 times at least in the series, it is impossible to find anything on this game on the internet. It has such a miserable internet presence.
I don't even think it has a Wikipedia page.
Honestly, I don't think it does.
Average
No.
retail price, it says $20, but it's discontinued.
Obviously.
Yeah. Why would they keep going with that? Wait, so when you bought the game, did it come with the gun?
No. You can buy it with the gun, but, I mean, the only ones I've seen online that come with the blaster are, you know, like, sealed. They want 60, 80, $100 for them, you know?
Really?
Yeah. Whereas if you did what I did, I bought the game for literally like $3 or $4 and then bought the gun for, I think, 15 or 20 or something like that, which honestly, all of it taken together, it's still a bit much for what it is, especially since the blaster's pretty much required. I don't know how much you know about this Bosniancheese, but actually that's one of the biggest complaints I have about it. So you know the little red reveal scope that's on top? And you know how you had to use that to go through some like access code areas or doors?
Yeah.
You can't move on without that. Otherwise it's a guessing game. You know, so you have to put in, you know, for example, 3 digits. If you put in 2, by luck, you happen to get the right ones, but the third one's wrong, it makes you fight a wave of enemies. Then you have to start from the beginning with the 3. So in theory, yes, you don't need the red reveal to make it through, but you're just going to be miserably stuck for potentially days or weeks or months at those sections.
That makes sense because this says, so it actually does have a wiki page entitled to it. There's a whole Nerf wiki.
Oh, good.
I didn't realize because the website is nerf.fandom.com, but it's Nerf wiki. It says that it comes with the blaster, the red reveal, and 3 darts.
Yes.
So I'm sure if you actually just bought the game,
if you bought it new, you wouldn't even have thought about it.
Then it would have been just like that. Also, do you know what city Jackal planned to destroy?
What was the name of it?
The name of the city.
Oh, I don't remember.
Did they say it?
I don't remember any name.
Okay, so a trivia. Jackal's plan to destroy Salt Lake City, Utah before taking over the world is a reference to EA Salt Lake.
It is not Salt Lake City. He never said that. I would remember that.
Yeah.
And plus he calls it a town in the game.
He does?
So
yeah, he does, huh?
Yeah.
I remember that in the last mission. He totally says that.
He definitely doesn't call it Salt Lake, but yeah, no.
That's funny though.
Actually, this is a good little thing to talk about here.
Huh?
So, I played the first Nerf N-Strike, the prequel. Well, actually, there was one more Nerf game before that, but it wasn't a part of the N-Strike series. I played that one on the channel a little over 3 years ago, and it absolutely blew up. It is, based on views, our most popular series. Like, by a landslide, absolute landslide. It had 8 episodes, so it was even shorter than this one. It had 8 episodes, and all 8 of those are in our top 10 most viewed. All 8 of them.
Damn.
So...
What? Are they not the top 8, though?
No. I think number 2 is a Forza 4 episode, and number 9 is a Forza 6 episode. So...
Forza's got to have one of the biggest fan bases in gaming.
Honestly, it's all huge. I mean, there's just so much you can do with Forza. You know, it's more than just a walkthrough, you know, or a Let's Play. You just go, I mean, people are doing stupid builds, you know, drag builds, drip builds, whatever it may be. And I think that's why certain videos of mine caught on, because they're doing things that other people aren't doing. Like, in one of them, it was like a Honda Fit track build. Like, who else is building a Honda Fit for the track? You know, they're not. They're making, like, 1,000+ horsepower builds, you know?
Yeah.
So, I feel like if you looked up, like, the Honda Fit track build, only my video would come up. So you'd have to watch it. And that's why it has the views it does. That's kind of what I think of. But actually, to get back to the point, I forgot there was a point to all this. that's kind of the point. That's kind of what's allowed here in this video. So basically, I played that game and it blew up. People were loving it, and ever since then, people were just like, I don't know if I'd use the word begging. It's kind of strong, but for lack of a better term, we'll stick with it. Begging me to record the second game. And I didn't even play the second game. I always wanted to. I mean, I remember watching one video of it because back, like, when I was in high school, there was only one walkthrough of it up on YouTube, and it was recorded with like a digital camera or a cell phone or something. No commentary. No. It was a horrible video, but I could see immediately that it was much more than the first game, like story-wise and, you know, character development-wise. Not that it was much more impressive, but I was like, oh, if I like the first one, I'm sure I'll like this one. But I never actually bought it, you know. It's just, it's not one of those games you see in like a GameStop shelf. It's just
Yeah.
It's so niche. It's so niche.
You might see it on like they have like this shelf now. It's like, oh, get 2 games or 3 games under $5 for $15 or something like that.
Oh yeah,
those little deals.
It'd
That's
be like,
like
it'd be like in a bin.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
wouldn't
the
even
bin
be on a shelf. It'd be in a
not
bin.
on the shelf. Not even on the shelf with like the side, the spine facing outward.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because those are like the lower quality games. If it's good, they'll show you the actual fronts of it.
Yes,
but it's not even there. It's in a bin.
It's that far down.
Yeah, it might not even have the actual cover. You know how they do that at GameStop? Yeah,
they have like that weirdo like white with like a blue border and whatnot. Yeah, that's how my Wii Sports case is actually.
Oh no.
But it's not great. But yeah, I basically then you could say that the channel and the fans, subscribers and whatnot, were what motivated me to actually play the game. Now, typically, as you guys know, we're very autonomous. We let you guys influence us, but we never do something only because you guys want it. Like, we don't play Minecraft because we think, oh, they're gonna love Minecraft. We're like, oh, we love Minecraft. We're gonna play Minecraft. And that's always the driving force, the primary driving force behind any series. But this one was slightly different. It's like, I wanted to play the game, I just didn't have that push to... I didn't have anything pushing me to just buy it. It's like, oh, yeah, I'd like to play it someday. It's just one of those games like, oh, maybe I'll find it someday. I'll buy it if I see it in store or something. But I never did. It's one of those things you have to go out of your way. Especially with this game, you have to find the gun. And it's easy enough to find the gun because it was released separately.
Yeah.
But finding the red reveal scope is what's tough.
Ooh. How much was it, the reveal scope?
It came with my gun. So I bought it for 15 or 20, but I think outside of that, the best deal I found was like $20 for the gun and like $8 for the red reveal. So you're talking almost $30 after shipping.
Damn.
So basically, yeah, I wouldn't have played the game, but if I'm totally honest, I wouldn't have been missing out on too much. I thought it was going to, just based on my brief experience with that video many, many years ago, probably over 10 years ago now, I thought it was going to be exponentially better, like in every way. But no matter what they did, it would have been better than the first game. In turn, like just objectively speaking.
Yeah.
Now, the way I'm talking, you'd think I hate these games. Like why am I even playing these games? It was a waste of my life. I don't feel that way. I feel like there's fun to be had.
Oh yeah.
In making fun of something. It's like
it's like watching a bad movie.
It is.
People have bad movie nights,
Seriously. Yeah, and like horror movies, so many of them are bad, but I like watching them. I like cheap scares. Even if it is just a jump scare, it's like I like cheap scares. Or like bad comedies. There's a million of those.
Oh yeah.
Well, a million of those.
One thing I used to stay away from that I regret now and that I don't do anymore is bad music. And like amateur music. Yeah, and now I love it. Now I love to see someone who hasn't fully come into themselves, like slowly finding themselves. Of course, everyone loves that, but you got to go through a lot of like shit to find someone like that. But but also just like hearing something that's really bad that makes you laugh. It's not the worst thing. Like,
it's not.
It's great actually. When something's that bad, it's great.
It is. But actually, you bringing that up actually reminds me of something funny. So I had this weird policy in high school regarding movies. So, do you guys ever just stop to think about how much media there is around you? Like, think, like, it's like, oh, if you want to watch every brand new movie that comes out from now and watch every movie that's ever come out, you couldn't do it in your lifetime. I'm positive. I haven't done the math, obviously, but I'm sure you couldn't.
You can't.
Even if you just did, like, the hits.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you'd have time with sleep. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, basically, I was... In high school, it was a funny thing. I'd be like, oh, if it was made before, like, 1985 or 1990, I don't remember what the exact date was, I'm not watching it. And my whole justification was, like, if I have to limit myself, I'm going, like, forward. Like, basically from right before I was born to now and forward. Yeah. Because that way, if I decide to watch them all, maybe I have a chance. That was, like, the theory behind it.
I totally get that. That's always been, like, a thing for me is, like, that factors into, like, what movie do I watch, when you think about that. And the way I found to move forward in that is picking a genre and just moving and watching a ton of movies, or, like, an actor and watching a ton of movies and, like, they're just what they did.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a ton of time to experiment. You know,
it's
like if I watch Adam Sandler and I like his movie, I'm like, oh, if I find another movie with him in it, I'll probably like it. There's a good chance.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if I try to watch a new actor every night, like, I'm going to be spending a lot of time being disappointed. And sure, that'll, filter me for the future. Filter my options, but I figured, at the time at least, it was just easier to just create a bright line cutoff. Like, I don't care. I don't care if Jaws is a classic. It was made before 1990.
There's the timer.
All right, guys, we'll be right back.
And we're back.
And honestly, if it wasn't for that, we would be recording in one take. If we looked like idiots, we'd look like idiots.
Yeah, no, we
that'd be how it was.
that.
You aren't going to see any other cuts except for those which are required based on the time limit of the camera. So
yeah.
And honestly, I mean, there is inherent pressure in that, but I don't really feel stressed about it. I feel like I feel like I have too much to say, if anything. By the way, you can see we have a light on now. It's starting to get darker outside, so gotta.
It is as this goes on. Yeah, it's gonna get a little darker. I moved the little cup that was right here. I also removed the pee from my bladder. I don't know if you can see that, but
I don't know if you can see that
right there.
Were you wearing these before?
What, these shorts?
Yeah. Were you? Wow.
You think I was butt ass naked or something?
No, I thought you were wearing like khaki shorts or something. I didn't realize they were like are these like sweat shorts? They almost look like sweat shorts.
I don't know. They're kind of like an athletic. Really. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know. They're weird. These have holes in the pockets like crazy.
Nice.
Both pockets.
Do you get some change? Oh, you don't.
Both pockets.
I thought it was like the one where it goes like in between the material, so you get like some change down in the very bottom of your shorts. You ever had that happen?
Those are the worst. I do have that. I have
something
like that. It's terrible. Actually, no, my jacket. I have a jacket like that. You know that black one I wear?
I do.
Yep, that one's like
that's a nice jacket though. So.
It is. The whole only fits coin. It's not like hands like this. You can't put a phone in here. You can't put a wallet in here. You can't put keys.
Why even have pockets? Do you carry change? I don't carry change. In fact, I'm lucky if I carry cash. Oh, well, I have a money clip nowadays, so I have no change anywhere.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't. If it's like in my wallet, I get change, I put it in my wallet, and then I'll forget to take it out, and that's me carrying change. But once I remember, it goes into that the treasure chest.
Yeah, the treasure chest.
Yeah. I don't even want to talk about it right now.
No, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
But actually, I thought maybe I had something. I thought I had a question for you. I'll just go with something kind of general. Like, how would you just describe something from your YouTube experience, like as a collective, not necessarily from any specific time period. Just like, how do you feel about it? What do you like about it? What drives you to do it? That sort of thing.
It's like a childhood dream of mine, honestly. I spent a lot of my childhood watching YouTubers, and I think growing up, that's going to be more and more common. And not just YouTubers, it's even bigger nowadays. It's Twitch. It's whatever Ninja went to. He went to a new
like Vimeo or something?
No, I think it's Mixer. You didn't hear about that?
I don't know about. Yeah,
He got paid like big bucks to switch like his platform from Twitch to Mixer, like millions and millions and millions of dollars. And but yeah, a lot of kids are gonna be able to say the same thing growing up. And I think we were in an early generation of YouTubers where a lot of the people we watched kind of as they were starting up are the most subscribed now.
Yeah.
Right? Like PewDiePie, Smosh, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Nigahiga.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like
No, yeah, in YouTube's infancy.
Yeah, that's kind of when we started. And now I love being able to make videos and compare myself to the people I watch, kind of like my heroes. My heroes are really the ones who made me laugh the most, made me not take life so seriously, and that's what I love, and that's what I want to share with people. Yeah, kind of like how it affected me, and then the kind of things I know now and things that make me feel good. Because I don't know, I feel like it's more than just gaming. It's more than just entertainment. It's more than just trying to get some laughs out of people, even though that's a lot of what it is. I want to share who I am with people, and yeah, a lot of times it's hard to do that especially when you're doing gaming. But
Yeah.
it comes out. It comes out, and well, I guess every time you open your mouth, it comes out. This is who I am.
It does.
If I make a joke like that,
after watching specific YouTubers for years, I swear I know them, and I mean, to bring kind of a camera just stopped.
What?
Geez, sorry about that, guys.
Yeah.
Honestly, don't know what happened. The camera just turned off.
Just stopped.
By
itself.
I checked, and the footage is there from what was just being said. So hopefully,
at least that's there. It was a nice little conversation.
It was, and it kind of threw things off a bit, but for them it didn't because it's like a second later.
Yeah.
But let's get into what I was saying. So to bring it to kind of a more sour note, this YouTuber I've watched literally since 8th grade. So what is that? 11, 12 years ago. He recently, a couple years ago, or maybe not even a couple years ago, he lost his father to cancer. And just this last summer, he lost his mother to cancer. And, he had been away from YouTube for months, and I mean, I don't want to say I'm worried. I mean, he has a knack for coming and going, whatever it may be. He's not the most active nowadays. That tends to happen when you get older. You more responsibilities and whatnot. You put YouTube aside. But when he came back and he told us that, I hurt in the same way that, not like a brother of mine. Like if it happened to a brother of mine or something like that. Obviously that would be different because that'd be my parents. But I felt like it was a close friend losing his family. And I felt like a true connection. A true connection. And I left a comment, a very meaningful comment, which he very much appreciated. But I felt weird doing it because, it's kind of like, hey, I feel like I know you by watching you over 12 years. I've watched you grow, seen you change careers, seen you, grow your brand, try to make something of yourself, go back to school, try to start a family and all this stuff. It's like just so much. I mean, I'm just viewing his life from such a thin perspective. Just through his gaming videos or his machinima videos, whatever they may be. But I felt like I truly connected with him just based on, the personality of his that he let shine through in his videos. And I'd like to think that someone might feel that way about us at some point. It doesn't have to come out of a tragedy like that. That was just my example. But it could come out of anything.
No, I totally get that. It's really sweet, by the way.
Did that get you?
That got me, yeah. I had this one YouTuber I watched. I don't think he's active anymore. I'll say his name just to give his channel a little more views, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it's Jovian0011, and he was very off and on. I don't even remember him finishing a walkthrough or anything. But damn, he made me laugh so much. And then he said he was playing Halo Reach when he said he was going to the military. I think he might have already been, so that kind of explains his absences. But then kind of just stopped making videos after that. And I was like, oh man, the homie's going away. He's going, and it really. It really made me grow up too. I was just a little kid watching gaming videos, and you can be that for a long time and still grow through that, even though it seems like such a childish thing. And that's something a lot of adults don't really understand about this YouTube stuff. It might just seem really childish, but there's a lot to it. There's life in these videos, and life is gonna, I guess, find a way to express itself, and I think you'll see life gonna happen in these videos, whether you want to or not. It's not just entertainment is really what I'm getting at.
I definitely,
and I love that, and that's all my favorite artists in anything. With movies, it's not just entertainment. With music, it's not just entertainment. It's emotions and ideas and thoughts, and that's. One of my favorite two of my favorite things is ideas and emotions.
Yeah.
They go hand in hand, and so that's really it. It's never just entertainment.
I couldn't agree more, honestly. Yeah, so it's just to reiterate my point. I'd love, at some point for someone to tell me genuinely, oh, you've helped me out in some way in my life from just a simple thing. I mean, it might even sound selfish to say I'd want that, but I mean,
No,
that's what we are. We're selfish beings.
Humans are selfish, and that's one advice I'd give people is you gotta be selfish in this life.
No one else is gonna be selfish for you.
Exactly. No one's gonna give you what you need. You need to know what you need, and you need to know that.
Dude, it just stopped again. God, guys, if that happens again, I swear that the two what's the word for this? What is this?
2 recordings?
Yeah, 2 recordings ago, it was 7 minutes 53 seconds. This last one that just failed was 7 minutes 58. For some reason, right around 8 minutes, it is just stopping. So we are gonna give it one more go, and if that happens again, we'll try switching SD cards or clear some memory or something. But there shouldn't be any technical issue as far as we can tell. The camera's not hot, so
didn't overheat.
We'll just ignore it. By the way, you might want to reset your timer.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because since we had to...
Right. I'll do 26 minutes this time.
Cool.
Boom.
So, basically, kind of, going back to YouTube and why we love it, childhood dream and all that. You saying that really made me think about this. So, see how it all just interconnects?
It's all connected.
So, yeah. So, basically, at all times, I'd say, occasionally, I'd say maybe once a month, a thought pops into my head making me think, when am I going to stop YouTube? I always think to myself in that moment, like it's an inevitability. It's like, at some point I'm going to be too busy or too focused on other things to have time to do YouTube or to even want to do YouTube. I might not even want to. And there's a couple of things that influence that. So you have this constant struggle. So on the one hand, I'm a true believer in growing into youth. So I think I might have mentioned this to you before. It's like it's a European principle.
Definitely.
Not our kind of European. Obviously, us Eastern Europeans are very like, you're 14? You should be acting like an adult now. You should be
like, why aren't you married?
Coffee. Why aren't you married? Why aren't you drinking coffee with us at the table, etc. But generally speaking, that's where it comes from. And the idea is that you don't reserve all your imaginative, creative, fun activities for when you're young and then just give them all up when you're older. Now that you're older and you have the resources, money or time or, freedom, whatever it may be, to do them, you should be pursuing them more so. You now have the ability to pursue them stronger than you could have before. That's exactly what it is now. I probably saved up just spare, change around the house and whatnot for, a month to save up for, what is that? What was
PVR?
That? No, not the PVR. The thing we had beforehand. The Dazzle.
Oh.
The Dazzle. It can record 480p max.
Wow.
Massive lag. It was a very simple piece of machinery, but it was $30. I had to save up for a month to get that. And of course, we were very limited. We couldn't record HD. And this will be something we talk about someday. But, all our old YouTube ventures. But we couldn't record HD or anything like that. But, we made YouTube what it could be at the time for us. We worked with what we had. And now that we've been able to have even minimum wage jobs, as soon as I had one, I was like, now I can afford a PVR. And then bought a PVR, now we can record HD. And then we buy a nice microphone, invest in, computer software. It's all different. If you were to limit yourself to when you were 18, you couldn't branch out at all. You'd be just limited to the bare minimum. And so that's one thing.
Yeah.
I know it took me a long time to say it, but that's one thing. The other thing is, this thing that was implanted in my brain as a youngin. You know how our parents are. Video games, what is this? This is stupid. This is for kids.
Childish.
This isn't exclusively a Bosnian thing.
No.
And it's funny because they recognize TV and books as okay forms of entertainment for adults, but not video games for whatever reason. I think it's purely because it's different. If they grew up with video games, they might feel different. I don't know.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But basically, that keeps coming back at me. It's like, do I want to be, 25 and doing YouTube? Sure, why not? Do I want to be 30? Do I want to be 30 and doing YouTube? Yeah, why not? Do I want to be 40 and doing YouTube? You just keep going down the line. It's like, is there an age limit to playing video games on YouTube? And my mind keeps telling me yes, but then when I think
but your heart
further about it, but my heart is like, why? Why does that matter?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I almost think it's weird because, as a kid, obviously it's okay, play video games and that's all good. But then when you get a job, it's like, or when you're in that age of like, oh, you got to be raising kids, you got to be having this job and providing for your family. But then like, when you get older, you think like, why aren't like 80-year-olds and 90-year-olds playing video games?
Right. Yeah.
Like, it seems like the perfect thing for them. Sit around and be like so into this game, and then you don't have to think about your achy breaky bones and joints.
Yeah, right.
You don't got to think about all that. And I think it's because they didn't grow up with them. And I think in the future,
for sure.
you're definitely gonna see games made for old people. Because old people, they don't have the reflexes and the timing, the reaction times to be playing like Call of Duty at a high level or anything.
Right.
But like, there's gonna be games that are perfect for old people, just to keep them active. Like Wii and stuff. And I'm sure you already see that, but I don't see that personally because Bosnians adults don't play video games.
They don't.
Like
it's like
I've seen my parents drive around in GTA, and that was the funniest thing ever. Yeah,
well, actually,
they mostly just watched me drive, and they're like, "Who gave you a license?" But yeah,
it's funny. They dive into those games. They're trying to like obey the like laws of the road as they play. It's hilarious for that reason. They run over someone, they feel terrible.
Yeah.
Oh god, no.
No,
I'm so sorry, prostitutes.
How you drive. But then they see me drive over 50 people while shooting out the window. It must be insane for them to see. Like they grew up without TVs even,
No, right?
And now to see their children like killing people
just willy-nilly. And it's like in fact, Bosniancheese has like a desire to kill in video games. That's one thing that needs to be said. You guys can see it in Minecraft. I don't know if my wife has just made me a wuss, but I won't kill unnecessarily in Minecraft. I won't just kill a pig unless I want meat. Bosniancheese can't help himself. He'll kill a horse, anything, no matter how few resources it gives you. Even if it's not beneficial, he'll do it. And it's just funny to see.
See, I don't
You're
exactly
a serial
know
killer.
Why. I guess so, but I just want to say that destruction is a form of creation, and I'm a creative person.
I don't want to create. I just want to destroy.
It's a form of creation,
Yeah.
and I see it when my niece plays with things and like rips things apart and makes a mess. I'm like, man, that's art.
Yeah, that's art, man.
That's art right there.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so just to kind of go back to the point of ever stopping YouTube, the before I went to law school, I had this thought. Before I went to undergrad, I had this thought. It's like, oh, hey, I'm about to go to college. Things are getting serious. Maybe I should stop doing YouTube. It's just like, that thing from my past. My parents telling me, like, oh, yeah, adults don't do this. You're going to be stopped. You're not going to be doing this at some point in your life. You're just thinking, like, oh, this could be a natural point. It's like, why am I trying to implement something I don't want? I don't know. It's just happening, And then law school, same thing. And now the current thoughts I'm having are, when I'm done with law school, I'm going to be studying for the bar exam. The exam you take to become an attorney, a licensed attorney. I'm going to be studying for 2 months for that, nonstop. Almost certainly will be unable to record during that time. And then I thought, well, once I'm a lawyer, will I still be doing YouTube? That's like the biggest obstacle for me right now. And of course, logistically speaking, it's like, well, if I have the time and I still have the desire, why not? Right? And that's the foundation of the one side that's saying, oh, keep growing into your youth. Keep growing into your youth.
Yeah.
But then the other side's like, well, you're going to be a serious lawyer and you're going to start thinking about having children and, you're going to, whatever it may be. All these adult things.
Do you worry about it like hurting your brand? Because image is a lot for like a lawyer, and then like someone digs up things you say.
You know
in
what?
Your videos.
No, I
know. You made jokes about rape. Oh, that's not good. That's a touchy subject.
No, you know what? No, that worried me at first.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, do I want to tell people I'm in law school? Will they like, take me less seriously? It's like, oh, you're in law school and you're doing this. It's like, but literally, one of my friends in law school. He sits next to me in one of my classes. He literally plays RuneScape Classic all class. And he's in the top 10 of the class. He is a...
Damn. Okay, sorry about that again, guys. We just switched to SD cards. Let's hope that fixes it.
I think
If
it will
not-
because the last one was boiling hot. I didn't even think to check the SD card for being hot. I've never had that problem before, honestly.
Yeah, that could definitely be it. And I'm thinking in the future we switch the SD cards every 30 minutes, or we just use a different camera.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll figure that out later. For now, I need to hear about this guy
Yes,
who's top
yes.
10 in your class and plays RuneScape all
Dude,
day.
he is just a monster, dude. He is obsessed. He is so bad. It was hilarious because this is actually something that happened very recently. So we just started the new semester, you know. And another one of my friends sat next to me in the back row of this particular class. It's a fairly small classroom, but I'm still in the back of the class because that's what cool kids do, right?
Of course.
So the RuneScape guy sat next to me the first day. But the seating chart wasn't passed around till the second day of class. And of course, he showed up late to that class, so a different friend of mine was sitting there. And he legit got upset that he wasn't able to sit there. And then my friend who was sitting there, we'll call him L. Even though I'm not going to say that again.
Okay.
We'll call him L. He was like, why you gotta be so upset? Everyone knows you're playing RuneScape anyway. Do you think you're hiding it? It's like, the professor's not an idiot. You can see you clicking constantly and looking at nothing else but your screen. Like, clearly you're not taking notes here. You're not typing on your keyboard. Like, come on. But, yeah, no, legit. So, basically, my point is, if you can classify, top 10 students as the best lawyers, there's arguments to be made, which I won't get into right now. That's what your best lawyers and judges are doing. They're playing RuneScape in class and in the courtroom. Lord. Hopefully not. That's what's going on.
That's crazy to me, though, because I always see law school as like, you got to pay attention. You really got to write down everything, and you still might fail. Like,
what I found is that every stage in life, someone tells you, like, oh, now it's for real. It reminds me of the classic Bosnian thing here. Oh my God. We have this classic, summer tradition of playing volleyball when camping. And, we'll start up the game. They never keep score is the thing. Because you never get to the real game. They'll be, like, passing the ball around. It's like, all right, now let's start. And then someone will, like, fumble the ball. They won't get it. Like, they'll be like, for real this time.
For real,
and
for
then,
real.
Then they'll hit it and be like, oh, fuck, we screwed up. Oh, for real. This time, for real. And just every play. That's why we never get to actually scoring, because they're always doing do-overs. They're like, no, that one doesn't count. For real. Now, for real. And so, I lost my train of thought.
No, I think it was, everybody always says that it's going to be, like, tougher in the next level.
Yes, that's exactly how it is. It's like, oh, you're done with high school? You better buckle down. College is going to be tough, man. And obviously you've been in college long enough now. You know it's not that bad.
No,
I mean,
it's
you get
not.
into the groove. Maybe the first semester it takes some getting used to. You have to walk to like 10 different buildings to go to all your classes. You're not in one, like, a single building where all your teachers have offices in the same hallway. It's totally different.
I think people always overplay how much more difficult it's going to be in the next level.
Always. I mean, that's the
teachers going into high school from middle school. They said, like, oh yeah, they're going to make you write everything in cursive or whatever, or maybe that was elementary going into middle, something like that. Yeah, it's like, oh, they're gonna make you write everything in cursive. Your math classes are gonna be like crazy. You don't get to use a calculator, and I'm like, how am I supposed to be a fucking genius at this time?
Right?
Like, but no, it never actually gets that much more rigorous.
I'd say,
like, it's a step up, but it's not something crazy.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say law school is not tough, because it was. I started out, my first semester of law school was probably the most stressful time of my life. And that was following up my wedding, which, no. I got married after the first year of law school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, mixing up dates. But basically, I thought my wedding would be my most stressful thing, because I was actually planning it during my first year, but it wasn't. And, of course, the wedding itself isn't stressful. I think the planning for the wedding is stressful.
Well, that add to how stressful it was during
Probably
your first year?
did. But honestly, I mean, there was one professor in particular who loved to cold call. So he'll just randomly call on anyone and be like, oh, hey, tell us everything about this case. Or, like, what do you think about this case? Or, whatever it may be. And some professors are so, like, I don't know, so old school, I guess, that they make you stand up as if you were in a courtroom and they were the judge. Like, stand up and tell me about this case. And you don't stand up in front of the class. You just stand up from your seat and you're like, oh yeah, so here are the facts. Here's the rule. Here's all this. And that is what makes it so difficult, I'd say. It's not even necessarily the reading. Give it like a semester. You'll know how to read legal cases. You'll know how to, you'll have an idea of how to write legal documents and whatever it may be, and even argue a little bit depending on what classes you're taking. But that's the thing that's so different. I mean, in undergrad, most of my classes, I could just sit down. If I felt like I needed to look at my phone, I could pull it out. I could check my emails on my computer, whatever it may be. I could, didn't have to really fully pay attention. Mm-hmm. But here, where you can be called on at any second, on something you might have not even prepared for, which is, of course, the scariest thing, which is why, you always prepare. That's probably the thing that makes it so difficult. But then, after your first year, most professors kind of, they chill out. They're like, okay, well, you got, you passed the, what do you call those tests? Like an initiation test? It's like, oh, you've been initiated. Yeah. Now you know the worst the law school can be, so we're not going to treat you poorly anymore. It's kind of like you've been hazed. You're good now. Yeah. And that's how it's been now. So it's all very laid back. Just like by the end of high school, by the end of undergrad, now at the end of law school, I feel the same way. It's just a routine now.
And it's like they think you've earned the right to relax now.
Yes. Yeah. I'd say so. I mean, when you start out undergrad, all your intro classes are probably your toughest classes. Mm-hmm. They say it's because of how broad things are. Yeah. Or, laying the foundation is toughest. But I think, honestly, a big part of it is your professors specifically targeting you, making it difficult, making the questions really tough. Like overloading you with stuff to do. Because they feel like they have to make a point. Which is exactly what they do in high school. They're like, oh, I'm going to give you this paper because guess what? In college, you're going to be writing one like this every week.
Yeah.
Always saying that. Just like the cursive and no calculator thing you were saying. They're just like, oh, it's going to be crazy. You're going to be doing, full-on calculus with you're not even going to get to use scratch paper. It's going to be all in your head.
Honestly, though, I think on the topic of like writing papers, high school did not prepare me for what college gave me. Even like
really?
Not going heavy into I think it's like the same kind of paper that you're writing, except in high school you get like a month or two, and in college you get like a week and a half.
Yeah.
And that was really the biggest difference. And I wish they showed me that it was possible to do these things in a smaller amount of time, but rather, in high school they give you more time for everything. Even in my video production classes, it's the same thing. We had months to work on just a couple or like a minute long video.
Yeah.
And then in college, it's like, all right, you have 1 month to make a music video. And it's like 3.5 minutes and a ton of tiny little shots and everything, and so. Yeah, I think that's one way they do that.
Yeah, see, honestly, I wouldn't be able to relate to that because I do everything last minute anyway. So it's like every paper, it's like, all right, when's it due? 2 days from now? I can push it a little further every time. And honestly, in high school, those were the most miserable days. I'd be up till 3, 4, 5 a.m. I'd be sometimes working with friends over Skype or something. 4 to 8 of us would be working on a single project together. We all waited till the last minute, so now we have to utilize each other. Yep. But honestly, that taught me a lot of skills, which allowed me to make better use of my time later on. So you already know this, but last year, as a qualification for law review, which is a journal I'm a part of in my law school, we had to write a 25-page, single-spaced article worthy of publishing. And, of course, I've never written anything like this in my life. This has to be on a topic that's never been written before, at least asking a question that hasn't been answered. It can be, everything in the world's been written on at some point, but you're answering something new about it. So you're writing, a thesis, basically. And so that's the equivalent of 50 pages typically. That's double, if it was double spaced.
Yeah.
And that I wrote with research and whatnot, it couldn't have taken more than 12 hours. For all that, 12 or 15 hours max, I'd say.
With research?
Yeah.
That's insane.
So see that and to be fair, that did include footnotes. So my citations and stuff, they take up that 25 pages.
Oh, okay.
And it also includes, like, quotations, so sometimes you'll have, like, a 50-word quotation. That's, like, a whole, like, paragraph on its own, 50-plus words.
But still. Still, damn.
So...
That's crazy.
I think that's why law school doesn't feel that bad for me, is because I don't even see those obstacles anymore. I mean, I knew it was going to be, like, 50 pages when I started, but that still didn't motivate me to work any harder at, like, starting earlier. It's because I've never learned my lesson. Each time I wait till the last minute, it turns out great. I get a good grade, and then I'm like, great, I can do that again next time. I never fail and then think, oh, I better start a week early next time. I don't have that lesson to learn yet. So,
I have something to say about what kind of motivates me in the way that procrastination kind of motivates you. I always work my hardest on something when I'm avoiding something even more important.
Yeah. So,
like, I love when I have two important things going on at once, so I can do the second most important thing while I avoid the first. But I'm all in, I don't even want to think about the most important thing because it's stressing me out. So I go all in on the second most important thing, and I think that's what's really gotten me into music and creating music. Is that I'm always avoiding something and getting really into the second most important thing.
Dude, that's funny. I do the same thing, but with really simple things. It happened again. Jesus, guys. So, looks like the SD card wasn't the problem, and we still don't know what the problem is. So,
nope.
Going forward, we're going to figure something else out. Try something new.
It was 8 minutes again.
Yeah, it was 8 minutes again with a different SD card. So it's clearly not the SD card. But
it's not overheating.
So we'll make this our last little 8-minute session, assuming that's what it'll be.
I'm getting pretty tired and I have some homework to do. So we gotta get going.
Time didn't stop for us to make this video. So anyway.
One day.
So I was saying, I do that with little things. So basically, like, my wife will always know. I'll be like, God, I have so much stuff on my to-do list. She's like, what are you talking about? Don't you have, like, a paper due tomorrow? I was like, yeah, but I've got to do all this other stuff. She's like, what stuff? Like organizizing my desk, taking out the trash. I got to do laundry. Bad. Like, she's like, what are you talking about? It's like, I'm the most productive when I have something that I'm procrastinating on.
Exactly,
That's hilarious. That's the exact same deal.
Yeah.
Of course, mine is just so unimportant. Like, obviously, I can take out the trash in 30 seconds tomorrow. I don't have to do that right now.
Don't worry. I do the same thing with that. Even when I'm thinking, like, I got to get on, like, some making music, then I'm taking out the trash. like, doing dishes.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
Plus, I like to have things done and clean before I tackle something big. It's like, you understand that. Like, it's 100%. Like, I'm sure you're about to do your music. It's like, I got to vacuum. I can't look at this filthy couch. I have to take stuff off of it. I can't leave those dishes there. Like, that's going to bother me. You just want nothing to distract you from your zone.
That's the thing. It's just distractions. When I'm in a zone like that, or any kind of zone, you just don't want to be taken out of it, because the hardest thing about like being in a zone is staying in it, and getting to it, that build up, that's what takes its toll. But being in a zone, you don't even realize. Hours could go by, but that build up to get into that zone, that's always tough, and it's taxing on you mentally and physically.
It is. That's why I specifically avoid it.
Yeah.
And I mean, once I'm there, honestly, I can't even take breaks. I try.
Yeah.
It's like when I'm deep enough in the zone, so I'll be like 12 pages into something. It's like, okay, I could take a break, watch this 10-minute YouTube video. I watch 2 minutes of the video, and then I'm like, you know what? No. I know exactly what I want to write next. Pause, go back to the paper, and so that's what the remainder of the time consists of: 2 to 3 minute breaks, aside from food or sleep.
Honestly, but I totally get that. Like, sometimes I get in a zone with making music. I'm just going for hours, and I like to walk back and forth when I'm writing, especially, and my feet will hurt. I'll be tired. My legs will hurt. I want to lay down and sit, but I can't really, like, write and sit at the same time, and so I keep going. I just stay up and my feet stay hurting, and that's what it is. I mean, yeah.
Alright, well, let's see. So, just to make sure the camera doesn't shut off one more time before day's end, let's just think of one more thing to say, I guess, before our outro. So let's just, like, one more solid little topic.
I was thinking something, like, related to the podcast. to the? Are we gonna have like a
like related to the plot? Like
Are
everything we said is
Are we
related.
gonna have
to
a
the
title?
Oh my god! I was actually
this
just
podcast?
I was just
Yeah.
thinking. Oh, what are we gonna call it? Because I don't
Yeah.
know. I really don't know.
The Yxlarb Bosniancheese podcast.
Yxlarbian. That's horrible. No, it's not fair. Wait. Lix.
The Yxlarb Bosniancheese.
That sounds weird.
It's not fair to me. It's got your whole name and not mine.
I was about to say the same thing, but I was hearing it wrong. So
But I mean, the only part being cut out is the Bosnian part, which everybody knows.
everyone knows that.
But I don't think we should call it Yxlarb.
No.
That's horrible. That was just a bad joke. But
What do people call podcasts? It's always like like podcast always seems to be in the title, so that you know it's a podcast. Like like when I think about like last podcast on the left, I'm like, oh, podcast, or it's like the Jin Jim podcast. Oh, podcast. Like,
well, there's the Joe Rogan Experience.
Or the Joe Rogan podcast.
It's not.
See, that could have worked just as well, honestly.
I'm trying to think about well, this one only works because he's famous. But there's Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson. He actually has a podcast.
Really?
It's
that's
pretty
cool.
Good. Joey Diaz has a podcast too. He's this comedian. It's something to do with like church. Oh, it's like the. This is the longest pause we've had.
Yeah, that's the longest one.
But it's like the church of something. It's like
Church of Podcasts.
It's like the church. I know it's not this, but it's like the church of thinking or like the church of thought, something like that.
It's like on the one hand, because of our I like that ending.
Yeah, that's good. That's real good. Oh my god, dude.
Wait a minute.
What? Don't tell me.
It's not on. It didn't make a noise. Oh, no shit, dude. No, fuck.
Yeah, I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear a thing.
Man.
Let's see. It said 8 minutes 35, but then it stopped at 5 minutes.
What?
Alright, guys. Sorry about the jump. Again, like, honestly, don't know what's going on at all. That time, the camera didn't even make a noise that it stopped recording.
Nope.
Typically, it gives us a little...
Yeah.
Not that time.
No, it's just turned off.
So we were talking for probably 2 minutes, didn't get it, so that's a shame. But we're just gonna do an outro real fast. It's a good time to end anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Good enough length, and we're getting tired. We got homework and crap to do, so we'll just leave it here, guys. Yeah, we really enjoyed this. It was a ton of fun.
Expect some more.
Oh, yes. We're definitely going to be doing more of these. Don't know when you're seeing this, but just for a reference, it is September 4th when we're recording this.
Yes.
If this follows any of our other trends, it might be months. But honestly, I doubt it because we've been very ahead on everything, so we can just probably find a way to sneak it in between all the series that are currently going on. But honestly, yeah, ton of fun, and I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah. I guess we'll see you guys in the next video or the next podcast.
See ya.
Bye.